Severe thunderstorms taking aim at central and eastern Kentucky. I'm tracking the late-night damaging wind threat just ahead.
How family and friends of a missing Madison County teenager honored her on the 3rd anniversary of her disappearance. On land and even in the water, more bear sightings are being reported in Pulaski County. You'll hear from some people who saw them.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening to you. Sam has the night off. A stormy pattern continues across the Bluegrass. We had a round of storms this morning, and it looks like more could be on the way overnight and then again tomorrow afternoon. For the very latest, we begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey on this WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Chris?
Yeah, storms, Amber, coming at us in waves. We talked about this all week long. Had a big wave yesterday. Again this morning. Next one is due in town later tonight, early tomorrow morning. And over the past half hour, a tornado watch has been issued for northern Kentucky. That includes Maysville, includes the Falmouth area, Florence, up into Covington. That will go until 5 a.m. and that could be extended a little deeper into parts of central and eastern Kentucky as we go into early tomorrow. We look at our Defender radar network. There's nothing out there across Kentucky. We got to go back to the northwest. That big thunderstorm complex is now gathering steam as expected around Chicago. It's going to roll its way toward the south and southeast. What you're seeing here on the green, which may be a little light rain, some of the tops of those big thunderstorms are being blown off by upper level winds toward the southwest. But that's also giving you an idea on where those storms are going from. The steering currents upstairs will bring everything in northwest to southeast. So arrival time into northern Kentucky, maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and into the rest of eastern Kentucky, especially between 7 and 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Strong to severe thunderstorms will have a damaging wind potential, and also we have to be on guard for flash flooding. Any storm that goes up late tonight or tomorrow can put down a lot of water in areas that have already had some issues over the past few days. Right now, it's Fort Wayne over to areas just to the north of Champaign, Illinois, that are under the gun for the possibility of severe thunderstorms in the short term. That new hour-by-hour future radar is in, suggesting that through 2 o'clock tomorrow morning, many of us are still in pretty good shape. Then all of a sudden you get to 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Look at that line of thunderstorms coming in northwest to southeast. Amber, in a few minutes, we'll show you how that is just the first of what may be 2 big storm clusters to deal with tomorrow.
All right, Chris, thank you. Harlan County declared a state of emergency after flash flooding last night. Several bridges around the county were washed out and many roads had to be closed because of high water. Some people say the water also damaged their driveways, making it hard for them to get to and from their homes.
My husband's been here 50 years and it's never ever done anything like it.
Harlan County leaders say it could take a week or even longer to repair all the damage. Neighboring Leslie County also declared a state of emergency because of flash flooding there. Remember, you can track storms when you're away from the TV with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. You can download it for free in the app or Google Play stores. It is the question no one has been able to answer. What happened to Brooklyn Farthing? The Madison County teenager disappeared 3 years ago today, and there is still no sign of her. So tonight, her family and friends gathered at the Berea home where Brooklyn was last seen to pray and release balloons in her honor. Garrett Weimer has our top story at 11.
It was the place she disappeared, now the place her family gathers.
It's like I want to go over there and open that door and think that I'm going to see her sitting there. And I know that's not true.
3 years of questions, 3 years of pain.
And we've stayed and we've waited and it's 3 years again. And we don't have our family back together.
Not knowing where she is or what happened, they have nowhere else to go.
I've got a boarded up old house that may or may not be where she was. But for me, this is all I have. This is the only place I can go.
Years of searching and following up on leads has turned up nothing. Now, police are again asking for help finding Farthing and whoever's responsible for her disappearance. Family members say they just want to know where she is.
That we may bring her home, Lord, unto us.
They released balloons.
Brooke, we love you.
Likewise, sending skyward their hopes and their prayers. How important is that to get Brooke home?
Would you say you'd give your life for your child?
looking for closure beyond the closed door of an empty house. In Madison County.
And I don't care what it costs or what I have to do. I want my baby home, and that's all I want.
Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Well, there is a $14,000 reward for information leading to the return of Brooklyn or the arrest and conviction of whoever is responsible. Family members ask that you call police if you have any information. You can find that phone number on WKYT.com and the WKYT News app. Investigators still haven't been able to track down a hit-and-run driver they say caused a child's death in Pulaski County. 10-year-old Stanley Turner was hit by a car Monday night on Rock Lick Creek Road and later died at the hospital. Police say there were no witnesses. Today, we obtained some of the 911 calls made by people who tried to help the boy after the car hit him. One woman had to run back and forth from the landline phone to a nearby home.
Okay, do you know how to do CPR?
I don't.
Okay, do you want me to walk you through it?
Oh, God, I'm not even near him. I'm 100 feet from him. I don't have cell phone service.
Police say they want to question a woman driving a red four-door car who was seen in the area around the time of that crash. New tonight, wildlife officials in Florida now think they've captured the alligator that killed a 2-year-old boy last week. Investigators say the gator dragged Lane Graves into a lagoon near the Grand Floridian Resort at Walt Disney World. Tonight, wildlife officials said they have stopped alligator trapping activities in the area after removing 6 gators. They say they're confident one of those killed the boy based on expert analysis and staff observations. New tonight, a proposed ordinance in Letcher County regarding where transgender people can use the restroom has been stopped. The Letcher County Fiscal Court had asked the county attorney to research if an ordinance could be passed, saying the county would not follow any federal directives that allow transgender people to use the restroom of their choice. But the court voted by a 5-to-1 margin this week to not pursue the potential ordinance. Well, usually when you take a boat out on Lake Cumberland, you don't see anything more than fish. So a family got a surprise when they spotted a bear swimming in the water, and it was all caught on tape. As Monique Blair tells us, that's not the only bear sighting in Pulaski County in recent weeks. She's at the live desk with more. Monique?
Well, Amber, the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office says they've had several calls lately from people claiming to see bears outside of the woods. And we talked to 2 women who both caught their experiences on camera.
Earlier this week in Pulaski County, Teresa Whitaker-Nix saw something she never expected to see.
Adrenaline was pumping, and I was so excited that I was able to actually see a bear in my own backyard. And you know, I'd heard the neighbors talking about seeing it, but I hadn't got to yet, so it was exciting.
But there was possibly an even bigger surprise for Sharon Gorham and her husband last Thursday as they were enjoying a boat ride on Lake Cumberland when they saw something swimming in the water.
I thought, well, it's a deer, but it was too big to be a deer.
So they got just a little closer.
When we got closer, I noticed that it was black and that it was a bear.
Gorman says she wasn't nervous, though. The roughly 300-pound black bear was about 20 feet away from her boat.
He wasn't interested in us at all, really. To see a bear on land is something, you know, I might be a little bit more nervous, but in the water, it was just, I just thought it was cool.
So she recorded as the bear swam about 300 yards from Burnside Island to the other side of the lake.
He just got up on the rock and turned around and looked at us and then just meandered into the woods.
Gorham says it all happened quickly and it was likely a sight she'll never see again.
I mean, I think that's a once-in-a-lifetime sighting.
Gorham posted that video onto Facebook, and it has more than 500,000 views in less than 1 week. Now, there's a part in that video that looks like a snake is swimming near the bear, something that a lot of people have questioned on social media. But Gorham tells me that was only a stick. At the live desk, Monique Blair, WKYT.
It is still quite a sight, Monique. Thank you. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office strongly advises that people do not attempt to feed a bear. Not only is it illegal, it is dangerous for both the person and the bear. Work in the U.S. House came to a halt today at the Democrats' stage of protest on the House floor, what they're demanding in 9 minutes. And later, the Fayette County Health Department talking to us about why inspectors decided to temporarily close a Lexington restaurant.
WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day rolls on through tonight and into tomorrow. Tornado watch is out for the counties in red. That's northern Kentucky, Covington, Cincinnati area, getting into sections of Grant County, Williamstown. Folks up there into Maysville watching us along the AA highway under that tornado watch until 5 a.m. It's the southeastern extent of a watch box that extends all the way back through the Indianapolis area towards Chicago. That is where we are seeing the thunderstorms that continue to ramp up and dive toward the east and the southeast. We've had reports of tornadoes, even a few tornado warnings still out into parts of Illinois right now. Storms are kind of showing their hand a little bit on where they're going to go. Notice all the green that is coming out ahead of the thunderstorms. Well, that's showing the upper level winds taking some of the tops off those thunderstorms, pushing them downstream. So it's giving you an indication on where the air upstairs is going, and it's coming in from northwest to southeast. We are southeast of that. The leading edge of this band may get to the Ohio River counties around Cincinnati and Covington, Kentucky Speedway, 3, 4, 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then diving toward the southeast. If you're playing along at home, those storms, at least the leading edge of this thunderstorm, is 250 miles away from downtown Lexington. So it has still got some ground and some real estate to make up. So what am I thinking for late tonight, tomorrow morning? Risk map. Farther southwest that you go, the lower the threat. Doesn't mean you're completely in the clear, just means your threat is lower. There's a risk for the area I've painted in yellow. The greatest risk late tonight would be for the areas in red. That would be northern and northeastern parts of the Bluegrass State. New hour-by-hour forecast is in. 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, in 4 hours from now, those storms that are to the northwest of Indianapolis, this model says at 3 o'clock in 4 hours will be right on top of the Ohio River counties. Look at the temperatures at 3 o'clock too. Upper 70s to around 80. Humidity is way, way up there. Let's go 2 hours to 5 a.m. Notice how we have this band of thunderstorms that is kind of bowing out, arcing out. That can be a damaging wind signature. So that's 5 o'clock, and look at the temperature gradient. Where it thinks it has rained in Lexington, 68, yet to rain in Richmond, 80. That thunderstorm complex then works its way 7 o'clock tomorrow morning across southeastern Kentucky. And by then, maybe in a weakening phase, but some additional thunderstorms develop on the back edge of that. This is a computer model that is known as the RPM. It is a very high resolution model, so it gives you kind of the best vision of thunderstorms. Through noon tomorrow. And then through 4 o'clock, look, additional thunderstorms are firing up. What do you know about that? That's another severe weather threat into the afternoon with some scattered stuff around. And finally, by the time we go into Friday, we may quite kind of put the kibosh on all the thunderstorms, push those to the south, kind of quieten down with temperatures in the 80s. How much rain does that model think will fall through tomorrow evening at this time? Next 24 hours, it's got some pockets of 2-3 inches of rain, some embedded 4 inches in there. Given the fact we've had so much rain in sections of central and eastern Kentucky, flash flooding is almost a given on a local scale. Can't tell you exactly where that will be until we see where the thunderstorms set up. But the potential is certainly there over the next 24 hours for a round tomorrow morning of severe weather, another round tomorrow afternoon heading into the evening, and sandwiched in between the possibility of a 90-degree high temperature, local flash flooding, damaging winds. Going to be a long night in the First Alert Weather Center.
Pretty incredible to see those temperatures still at what they were at, what, 3 and 4 in the morning.
And right now, it is more humid, it is stickier than what we had around 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. That warm air continues to build in. That's going to lead to storms.
Bumpy night for all of us, Chris. Thank you. And Eastern Kentucky City has earned a new title tonight. How city leaders hope it will help tourism in 7 minutes. Democrats in the U.S. House say they're prepared to pull an all-nighter as they demand a vote on gun control legislation. They've staged a protest on the House floor, and Republicans are not amused. Adam May has the latest from Capitol Hill.
8/2016, the unfinished business is further consideration.
Republicans returned to the House floor Wednesday night and conducted business around their Democratic counterparts. Democrats are holding a sit-in demanding a vote on gun control. Georgia Congressman John Lewis, a veteran civil rights activist, led more than 100 of his colleagues in the unprecedented action.
Sometimes you have to turn things upside down to set them right side up.
All work came to a halt on the floor earlier, and frustrated Republicans left the room. The C-SPAN cameras were turned off, so some Democrats used social media to broadcast the proceedings.
Rise up,
A spokesperson for House Speaker Paul Ryan said the House cannot operate without members following the rules of the institution. Democrats pledged to stick it out until there's a commitment for a vote.
People are bringing in their blankets and pillows or whatever we need to do to stay overnight.
The gun control bills call for expanding background checks and blocking suspected terrorists from purchasing guns. Measures Democrats say the vast majority of Americans support. Republican members of Congress disagree.
We have something that's maybe a little inconvenient in this country. It's called the Constitution. And what it says is you can't remove someone's rights.
The GOP leadership plans to bring a vote to the floor Thursday for Zika funding, but no mention of any movement on gun control. Adam May for CBS News, Capitol Hill.
All 4 measures on gun control in the Senate didn't have enough votes for a 60% majority, but House votes only require a simple majority. New tonight, police in Louisiana have a suspect in custody for a shooting that killed a sheriff's deputy. It happened this afternoon in Harvey, near New Orleans. Investigators say Jefferson Parish Deputy David Michelle had stopped the suspect who was walking along a busy street. They say the suspect and the deputy then got into a struggle, and the deputy was shot 3 times in the back. He later died at a hospital. Witnesses say the suspect ran off after the shooting, but police found him hiding in a nearby backyard. We now know why the Fayette County Health Department shut down a Lexington restaurant. As we first told you last night at 11, health inspectors closed Red Bang Bang Chinese restaurant on West Maxwell yesterday. After a woman claimed she found a dead mouse in her meal, the restaurant says it reached out to the health department asking for an inspection. A picture claiming to show the mouse has been shared many times on Facebook. The health department says inspectors did find mouse droppings in the restaurant, so they decided to close it for now. Inspectors say getting a report about rodents in food is unusual.
We didn't see any activity or anything that would indicate that they had got into the food, but I can't comment any further regarding the picture that was posted.
A representative for the restaurant says managers are using this time to renovate the restaurant, and they hope it can reopen Monday. The health department will have to inspect it again first. Restaurant managers say they're taking the woman's claims seriously, but say they're also skeptical. They say she asked them for $25,000. New tonight, a Jackson County city has received an honor that city leaders hope will bring more tourists there. McKee has been certified as Kentucky's 14th trail town. That means the state will advertise the city along with other Kentucky trail towns when trying to bring more hikers and bikers to Kentucky. McKee is at the crossroads of the Shelatoe Trail and the Trans-America Bicycle Trail. The football Cats say thanks to their fans.
5 of Mark Stoops' players working the phones, telling season ticket holders how they appreciate them. And the big night in New York is tomorrow. Scal on his coach, John Calipari. Stay with us. Sports is next. Tomorrow night, we find out who goes where. The 2016 NBA draft is almost here. Kentucky has Jamal Murray and Skal Labissiere as projected lottery picks. Lee K. Howard is in New York for the draft.
On Thursday night here in New York, John Calipari and the Kentucky Wildcats will add several more players, 3, maybe even 4, to the NBA. In fact, over the past several years, the 6 seasons that Calipari has been at Kentucky, the NBA draft has served as sort of an infomercial for the Wildcats. And tomorrow night should be no different. Kentucky is the only school with 2 projected lottery picks. Skal Labissiere says he expects Thursday night to be like a holiday for him and his UK coach, John Calipari.
Oh, pretty much. I feel like it's a holiday for Cal every single day. He's always upbeat, always talking. You want to play for someone like that, who's very passionate about what he does. He's passionate about what he does and his players. He looks out for us. He treats us like Brad Calipari, like we're his own son. So that's all you can ask for. Takes us to his house, feed us and stuff. So he has a lot to be proud of.
And if you think about just the sheer numbers, they are impressive. John Calipari, in 6 seasons at Kentucky, has put 25 players in the NBA. 19 of those players were first-round draft picks. He has the potential to add at least 3 more first-round draft picks tomorrow night. Here in New York, covering the NBA draft, Lee K. Howard, WKYT.
Thank you, Lee Kay. Point guard Derrick Rose headed to the New York Knicks. It's a multi-player deal sending center Robin Lopez and guards Jose Calderon and Jerian Grant to Chicago. The Knicks have been looking for a point guard. Rose was one of the best in the league before injuries slowed his career. He did play in 66 games last season, his most in 5 years. Just a massive crowd turning out in Cleveland to celebrate the Cavaliers' NBA championship. Hundreds of thousands of fans lining the streets. LeBron James, MVP of the finals, said during the parade that he would be coming back for another season to defend the title. It's been 52 years since Cleveland won a championship. Jim Brown, the great Cleveland Browns running back, presenting the championship trophy, and then LeBron spoke.
What's going on right now is still so surreal to me. It still hasn't hit me what actually happened. And for some crazy reason, I believe like I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna be like game 4 all over again. I'm like, we down 2-1 still. Like, I swear, I keep feeling that because it's so surreal. And I was talking to my wife and I'm like, babe, we did it.
And earlier today, UK coach Mark Stoops working the phones, urging fans to renew their season tickets. Tonight, his players were calling fans who have renewed, saying thanks. Jacob Hyde, Cash Daniel, JoJo Kemp, Garrett Johnson, and Courtney Love spent a couple hours on the phones at the ticket office tonight.
It's awesome because, you know, you're actually getting a one-on-one, you know, conversation with them, or, you know, just your 10 seconds with them. But, you know, it's nice other than them just seeing you out on the field and saying, oh, you know, we come to cheer for you. But no, you're actually taking your time and making a personal phone call to them.
They're really important. The loyalty, when they come out and come and see us play, they give us the energy because we know we come here to change the program around. So being able to see them guys come out there and support us, we want to go out there and give it all we got.
And we are just 73 days away from football at Commonwealth Stadium. We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back in, everybody. We are continuing to watch the severe weather threat heading into the overnight. That's a tornado watch out until 5 o'clock tomorrow morning for areas of northern Kentucky. Nothing on your Defender radar network. All the action is still well to our northwest of the Indy area. But those storms are going to ride toward the southeast as we go into the overnight and early tomorrow morning. Greatest risk for severe weather after 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning for the areas I've highlighted in red. Could be some damaging winds, some large hail. Anyone going to be fair game for the possibility of some local high water issues as well. Again, we may get one wave early tomorrow, another wave of severe weather tomorrow afternoon. Keep it here on WKYT. We'll be here to keep you up to date all night long.